EA has responded to industry insider Tom Henderson's report regarding Halo's effect on 2042's failure. Cyberpunk 2077 players on Xbox Series X are unhappy with the game's latest patch, Hell Let Loose is receiving a major facelift, and much more. Battlefield-like indie FPS World War III shared a first look at next week's updated in-game audio overhaul on social media. They stated that they're listening to player feedback and want to share as much of the behind-the-scenes as possible with their fans. Alongside the weapon audio changes, next week's patch will also improve the game's spatial awareness, making it easier to pinpoint exactly where audio cues are coming from. The social post depicts audio changes made to the MS-BSK assault rifle. And even in the short time since that post was made, fans have begun leaving their feedback and praising the developers at the Farm 51 for actively engaging online. Earlier this week, industry insider Tom Henderson shared behind-the-scenes details on an internal town hall meeting at EA. These meetings are pretty common and typically take place every couple of months. According to Henderson, this meeting focused heavily on Battlefield 2042 and its failure to meet internal and external expectations in terms of sales and player retention. According to EA's Laura Mealy, the reasons behind this failure include the shift to work from home, the ambitious nature of the game's design, the major overhauls to the Frostbite engine, and bizarrely, the surprise release of Halo Infinite. And needless to say, the last comment was instantly the focus of the article, with players and fans of the series running with the narrative across social channels all week. And EA did in fact respond publicly to some degree, as EA Communications VP John Resenberg stated that the narrative shade by Henderson's article doesn't accurately capture the full discussion and context of the actual town hall meeting. According to Resenberg, the EA meeting was less about blaming external factors like Halo Infinite and more about sharing key learnings and how the company can push forward. In terms of what is proposed for right now, EA and DICE have pushed back the launch of Battlefield 2042's first season of content until early summer. In the meantime, the development teams will work on the fundamental issues facing players right now. The next major update for the game, Update 3.3, is set to launch next month. It'll hopefully introduce basic features like VoIP, the scoreboard, and fix other outstanding bugs. Despite the long wait, Cyberpunk 2077 finally received its new console generation versions alongside a major update. Patch 1.5 shipped earlier in the week and is packed with improvements and minor content tweaks. The new version features a reworked perk system, AI improvements including crowd and traffic changes, a refined driving experience, and even new apartments to rent as a player. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series version of the game introduces ray tracing, much faster load times alongside numerous technical and visual improvements. Though it has become evident that not everything has gone according to plan. Cyberpunk fans on the Xbox Series S console are disappointed as the game fails to deliver a 60 frames per second experience. Despite the improved visual fidelity of the game, the frame rate matters more to plenty of gamers. This issue isn't affecting the stronger PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X consoles where 4K 60 FPS is possible. Unfortunately, for the Series S, players are locked to 1440p 30 FPS. CD Projekt Red has responded to the complaints, sharing that they are looking into a fix. Other issues on the PlayStation platform are also being addressed, such as a disastrous bug that caused disc versions of the game to stop working. Now, speaking of significant updates, the hit indie survival game No Man's Sky received a major free content drop this week. The Sentinel update improves the game's combat systems, adds new story missions, new AI drone companions, and much more. Hello Games founder Sean Murray shared that while the game has undergone plenty of changes since its launch back in 2016, the team has far more to come. Murray also shared that the team's energy is as high now as it's ever been and that they're excited to continue supporting the game. Halo Infinite will see some big changes to the competitive skill ranking system. In a blog post, 343 Industries outlined their plans to address issues relating to player rank inflation, inaccurate skill assessment, and uneven player skills, issues that have apparently been affecting the game since it launched. 343 also shared that changes to the competitive skill ranking system like this will occur throughout the game's life and that players should expect even more changes down the line. The old system was being overly generous, and the new system should hopefully hopefully bring things closer in line to where they should be. The reset in stats will likely mean players find themselves a full tier below where they currently are. In other Halo news, leaked details of the highly anticipated Forge mode have supposedly surfaced. The Forge mode isn't officially releasing until Halo Infinite's second multiplayer season in May. Videos online depict players placing different objects around their own custom map, objects like vehicles, player characters, and static walls. Forge will apparently even offer the ability to change the map biomes and day-night cycle. Many fans wonder if you'll be able to place enemy AI characters into your own custom world, resulting in endless potential. Giving players the freedom to create their own campaigns or multiplayer maps could see Halo Infinite build a very long-term community. An update released to Windows 11 insiders this week has given gamers a lot to look forward to. Microsoft is promising to significantly improve latency while playing games in windowed mode. They're working to implement variable refresh rates to individual windowed programs too, which is usually something controlled by drivers and strictly reserved for full-screen applications. Similarly, this insider build of Windows 11 also features the drag-and-drop taskbar functionality that has been absent from the new operating system since it launched last October. There's no specific timeline as to when these features will make it to the public build of Windows 11, but enthusiasts reckon that it won't take too long. EA's Star Wars: The Old Republic's Legacy of the Sith expansion released during the week, and after a stellar cinematic short film, fans' expectations were at an all-time high. Unfortunately though, while the reviews for the game on Steam did see an upswing in positive reviews, the official forums and social channels share a different narrative. According to fans, the story itself is far too short, and the update has introduced plenty of significant bugs. The UI changes aren't to everyone's taste, the new combat styles could be seen as downgrades, and the changes to classes haven't pleased fans either. Some bugs seem like minor inconveniences, where some could be pretty detrimental to the gameplay. Overall, fans have critiqued the size of the update, claiming that it shouldn't really be considered an expansion at all. Patch 17 for the popular tactical World War II FPS game Hell Let Loose is still being worked on by the development teams at Black Matter, though the developers did share a sneak peek of the update this week. The art team has been working on multiple fronts for Hell Let Loose content, but has also had a chance to revisit existing content and assets. By working on current content, the team is able to better optimize the game's assets, resulting in better performance overall. As an example, Black Matter shared the revised FG-42, showing off the new smart materials that give the weapon a much more detailed appearance without impacting the game's performance. This method of applying smart materials is also being applied to soldier uniforms, vehicles, and other weapons, resulting in a more refined game with better performance. As time goes on, the devs will gradually replace old assets with new ones, such as the German Panther tank, which will return in Update 12. Open-world adventure game Horizon Forbidden West launched to rave reviews from critics and players. It's a direct sequel to 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn. The original game was a smash hit and considered a technical marvel on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Forbidden West ups the ante with seriously enhanced visuals and an even more expansive open world. And while some reviews express concern that the increased scale of the game muddies its storytelling, the general conclusion is that it's still a solid experience overall that improves the original. The one big question mark is, when will Forbidden West launch on PC? The PlayStation 5 version of the game is a pretty close approximation to what's possible on PC, and Zero Dawn was a massive success for Sony on PC. You might even go as far as to say that the game's success on PC kickstarted Sony's PC porting initiative. They recently launched God of War on PC, and it sold like wildfire. Hopefully Sony doesn't string us along for another 3 years like they did with Zero Dawn. Shark Mob, the developers behind the upcoming free-to-play battle royale Bloodhunt, will be running a closed PC playtest next month. Bloodhunt has already conducted several playtests throughout 2021 with massive praise from fans and critics. Next month's PC playtest was actually sneakily featured in Bloodhunt's Valentine's Day social post across social media channels. Hidden in the image shared were the words "PC closed playtest next month," a detail that many dedicated fans picked up on straight away. Shark Mob officially revealed next month's playtest across their main game's social channels this week, confirming player suspicion. The playtest next month will be available to everyone that previously created a SharkBob account and is still in good standing. The focus area of the playtest will be the game's performance and visual quality. The playtest will run for 2 days with the exact dates and timing to be announced closer to the event. The developers are encouraging players to run the game on DirectX 12 as it should be running better. However, stuttering and other minor performance bugs are still to be expected. Bloodhunt is set to fully launch at some point this year. Before we cover today's final topics, we would love to hear what you have to say about Battlefield 2042 and EA's response to the game's criticism. Should they just come out and apologize for the game's problems, or keep their nose to the grindstone and work on game improvements in silence? Share your thoughts and opinions down in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all of gaming's biggest news stories. According to a report released by Embracer Group, the parent company of Metro Exodus developers, Metro Exodus has shipped over 6 million copies since it was released back in 2019. The game continues to perform as an evergreen title, bringing in new players constantly every month. Metro Exodus wasn't met with open arms at launch, however. You may remember that it was removed from the Steam store and was instead exclusively sold on Epic Games instead. Positive reviews and a new console generation upgrade last year quickly overshadowed the negative press, and the game continues to please fans around the world. And that wraps it up for this week in gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.